you get a chance to wake to the rousing voice of Michael Bolton every morning, Aretha Franklin and Jim Reeves, certainly it's the sort of day that is set to take off, and it's going to take you to another trajectory, a point in your life that you never really knew existed. Good morning to you, Grenada, Caribbean, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. 25 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock, and good morning. This is the Song of Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band. Welcome to Friday. Yes, welcome to Friday. In case you just happen to just roll over, not recognizing what it is. For those of you that's up and about already, you've already determined that, and you set your compass for another great day on the grind. Well, what's ahead of us today? Probably a whole lot. Some of us, we've planned it to the last letter. Others, we're probably still not even quite sure. But the one thing we know is that today marks the start of the rest of our lives. The exodus of one life, which was yesterday, the genesis of another life. New opportunities, new potentials. It's an opportunity for us to redeem ourselves from our faults, our mistakes of yesterday, our past misdemeanors, or maybe even greater sins. But the fact that we're still here is an opportunity for us to become bigger, better, bolder, and even much more brazen in what we do in our thrust for positivity, eliminating the negative and promoting all things that are positive in our lives. I'm Joseph Cadore, and welcome. It's always a pleasure being here with you. We do this every morning, and indeed, today is no different. Just that today, we are going to embrace the opportunities that are ahead of us. Wherever you are, say good morning, good evening, good night, depending on which part of the diaspora, well, the region that is first, and the diaspora, and the wider world at large. It's always a pleasure. Allowing you sharing your day with me every morning. We start off as we do, and today is going to be no different when we try to improve on ourselves and add to our reservoir of words, kind of expand our vocabulary. And this morning, the word I offer to us today, not to you because it's a learning process for me just the same, is dialogist. A dialogist, D-I-A-L-O-G-I-S-T, and dialogist is a noun, and a dialogist is a writer of dialogues. Quite simple, or one who participates in a dialogue. It's straight up. You don't have to try to think twice about what or who a dialogist is. It's one who participates in a dialogue, or you write a dialogue. And you probably then want to ask yourself, it begs the question then, what is a dialogue? Well, the dialogue are the things that are said by a character in a story, a movie, or a play. He's an expert at writing dialogue. Or it's a formal discussion or series of discussions that two groups or countries or parties are having in order to come to an end and an ultimate agreement, or a conversation between two groups or people or more people. It is a dialogue, right? So the dialogist is one who engages in dialogue. The word of the day for today, it's dialogist. Keep it in mind. You don't want to forget it. You add every day. We get a chance to add a new word to our vocabulary. D-I-A-L-O-G-I-S-T. Dialogist. The word for today, the 12th day of the month of October. Well, with that comes one of the thought of the day, and the thought of the day is inspire you. Just leave yourself something in the back of your mind that allows you to ruminate, and it would resonate with you. Run when you can, walk if you have to, crawl if you must, just never give up. I want to take this one because it sounds rather simple, but it is profound. Run when you can, walk if you have to, crawl if you must, just never give up. Just one of the thoughts for the day that allows you to become consistent. Do what you have to do. We're faced with trials, situations, obstacles may come in our way. Sometimes you have to run for your life. Sometimes we have to run to the finish line. Sometimes we have to walk because we're exhausted, and it seems as though life has drained us of everything. And sometimes we have to crawl because we're at our seeming wit's end. But whatever happens, we must resolve today that I will not give up, because it's not within my character. And even if it represented you yesterday, this morning you resolve, you know what? That's it. And I tell you that if you start now on whatever venture you have in life, if you start now, you will start seeing results one day earlier than if you wait until tomorrow. Another thought for today, yes. If you start that dream, that vision, if you start now, today, in the present, at this very moment, yes, at 19 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock, if you start now, you will start to see results one day earlier than if you wait until tomorrow. Because tomorrow, it may just never come. It may just not come. And you don't know that. And then you may come and then realize that you lost out on some opportunities. While we wait on tomorrow, it doesn't wait on anyone. It'd probably be good to look at the dashboard. What's happening COVID-wise? It is always great news when you look at the COVID dashboard, Krista, and you recognize that for new cases, it says zero new cases, and you notice that the active number of cases, it continues to gradually decrease. It is now at 70. That is always a good news. New recoveries, 6. And the death total, let it stay right where it is. That is perfectly fine with us. So, no new COVID cases, and we have number of active cases is that of 70. There is, of course, as you may well aware, that we continue. There is the continuous vaccination programs every day. It takes place at the stadium, so you can go there. And there are other places across the island. Dr. Martin at his office. It happens there as well, so you don't want to miss that. Take advantage. What else is happening today? As you go through the day, 18 minutes onto the hour, reminding you that today is day number 13. No, day number 12, that is, of the inspections of fishing vessels, the inspections and licensing of fishing vessels. That exercise started at the first of the month and continues, it runs throughout. So today, what is the plan today? Today, Friday the 12th, this is where the team is going to be. At the Duquesne Bay from 1 until 2 p.m. Yes, at the Duquesne Bay, because they're up in Waltham this morning. At the Duquesne Bay, and they'll also be in Davie from 2 to 3. So Duquesne from 1 to 2, Davie 2 to 3. That's what's happening. So go out there. It's important that you do what you have to do. Yes? Keep in mind as you go through this day, COVID-19 remains an ever-present threat. Continue to follow the protocols, sanitize, do what you have to do. Let's try to play our part. Be selfish today and play our part to make sure that we keep the numbers right where they are. We're getting ready for the morning edition. It comes up right here on Classic 105.5, 105.9. And for those of you that is on television, you get a repeat of some of the top stories from last evening. I will then return to you on television at around 15 minutes after the hour. That's what we do. We'll link up inside of New York with the man Junior George. To the point today, my guest is expected to be a permanent secretary inside of the Ministry of Education, Mr. Kevin Andel, looking at child month activities, looking at the phase reopening, re-entry into the classroom, and everything that's pertaining to the Ministry of Education. That's a break with you for now, our television viewers, but for you on the radio, the morning edition comes up right now.
story this evening, the talk across parts of the country is that all school students throughout the island will return to their classrooms next week, Monday. GBN spoke to Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Kevin Andel, this evening, who did not confirm nor deny the talks, but did inform the news desk that a press release is being prepared and that information will be issued by Friday. Friday will also mark the end of government's 2-week phased approach with a focus on students who are in exit grades or classes and are those who were not engaged in remote learning when the school year began in September. In other news, if you're thinking about getting vaccinated, then you now have a third option of a COVID-19 vaccine. That's according to Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles, who revealed the arrival of Johnson & Johnson doses on Thursday. Rena Perez-Thomas tells us more.
From tomorrow, Friday, the 11th of November, Grenadians will have a third option of COVID-19 vaccine as health officials announced the arrival of Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says the small supply of vaccines that will be administered to people 18 years and older arrived in Grenada on Thursday.
I'm pleased to announce that the Ministry of Health has received a small supply of Johnson & Johnson vaccines. 2,000 doses to be exact, which we are going to make available to the Grenadian public. As you're aware, this vaccine has the advantage of being a single dose vaccine. So we encourage everyone to come out and get their shots.
On April 23rd, CDC and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration resumed the use of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine after a temporary pause. In October, the Food and Drug Administration authorized a Johnson & Johnson vaccine booster shot. The booster allows anyone who got the one shot to get an added dose of protection at least 2 months later. The Chief Medical Officer reminded Grenadians that booster shots for the AstraZeneca vaccine are now available to the public.
Yes, we are offering a third dose of AstraZeneca vaccine to individuals age 65 and over, individuals 18 years and over who have underlying medical problems, and to individuals 18 years and over who work on the front lines and are at increased risk of exposure and infection with COVID-19.
According to the Ministry of Health's latest dashboard, 72,148 doses of COVID-19 vaccines were administered. 32,949 people are fully vaccinated and 6,250 people are partially vaccinated. For GBN News, I am Rena Perez-Thomas reporting.
The non-capital murder case involving a St. Mark resident goes to trial in the High Court next year. The man accused of the death of his companion, Chanel Alexis, had his last day hearing heard in the Magistrates Court on Thursday. Chrislina John was at the Victoria Magistrates Court and filed this report.
In a matter that drew national attention back in June 2020, Mitch Phillip, the man formerly charged for the death of 23-year-old Chanel Alexis of Victoria St. Mark, appeared before Magistrate Francine Foster for the final hearing of his matter at the Victoria Magistrates Court on Thursday, before it goes to the High Court. Phillip had a charge of non-capital murder slapped on him. Attorney George Prime was the legal counsel representing the 49-year-old joiner of Queen Street, Victoria St. Mark. 11 witnesses were called to give evidence in this matter, most of whom were present virtually in court. However, none spoke at today's proceedings. Phillip is alleged to have intentionally caused the death of Chanel Alexis, who was pronounced dead on arrival at the General Hospital on the 30th of May last year. It took officials 3 weeks before an autopsy revealed the actual cause of Alexis's death. The expertise of a forensic pathologist from Trinidad and Tobago was brought in to conduct a second autopsy. The findings, coupled with additional evidence obtained, led to the charge laid against Phillip. If found guilty of the crime, Philip could be sentenced to life imprisonment. Philip was granted bail by the High Court and will make his first High Court appearance sometime in January of 2022. Christelina John, GBN News.
Still with more court news, the Victoria Magistrates Court was abuzz today as a number of matters were deliberated on before Judge Francine Foster on the final day of court proceedings for 2021. Here's Christelina John once again, who followed Thursday's court matters.
Among matters heard was that of teenagers Aaron Chase, 18 years old, of Riverside St. Mark, and Alvin Jerome, 18 years old, of the same parish. Both made their second court appearance at the Victoria Magistrates Court on Thursday, following their first court appearance at the Guelph Magistrates Court on Monday. Both young men were accompanied in court by their parents. The two teenagers were placed on $10,000 and $7,000 bail, respectively, laid against them in connection with the alleged robbery of a supermarket at Victoria St. Mark on October 30th. The young men were charged jointly for robbery with violence, while Chase received an additional charge of robbery with violence in connection with a separate incident that allegedly occurred on May 27th at the Victoria gas station. Both Chase and Jerome were represented by attorney Jerry Edwin, who believes the decision taken by the magistrate was, in his view, appropriate.
The objective with the 5-day reporting that I insisted on, it is not because I think it is draconian, but rather it is something I think the community in St. Mark's would be very concerned about. After all, this robbery, when it occurred, sent shock waves to the community. These young men used cutlasses and knives, covered their faces, and in the style of the kind of gangland robbery we see in other jurisdictions, some of them very close to Grenada, they were intent on causing fear to the residents and the shopkeepers in St. Mark's.
Chase and Jerome are required to report to the Victoria Police Station 5 times per week between the hours 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., must be confined to their homes by 6 p.m. daily, and must seek written permission from the court to leave the state. Any violation of the terms and conditions of the bail will result in immediate imprisonment. Attorney Edwin says that he intends to, at the next court hearing, to deter these young men from reverting to such acts.
We cannot control the entire community of Victoria, but at least these two young men will not be roaming, and they are my clients, and I'm happy to say they will be kept out of harm's way and will not be roaming the streets of Victoria after 6 p.m. between now and the time that the matter is called. And I think that I will, when the next hearing is held in February, do my mitigation along such lines. Not that we slap them on the wrist, but that they hear the court loud and clear and desist any further and think about any career in crime.
Their next court appearance is set for February 17th, 2022. Christelina John, GBN News.
Meanwhile, a father and daughter, along with an acquaintance, were jointly charged for possession of drugs and ammunition. The three made their court appearance at the Victoria Magistrates Court on Thursday and were granted bail. More, once again, from Christelina John.
One man was detained by police at the Maurice Bishop International Airport as he attempted to board a flight out of the country earlier this week. Bradford Thomas, a Grenadian residing in the United States, along with Shamora Charles and Mrs. Antoine, were arrested and charged by police in connection with the seizure of a quantity of cannabis and ammunition. A police operation resulted in the seizure of 13 pounds of cannabis and 295 rounds of ammunition. 12 pounds of of cannabis and 200 rounds of ammunition were recovered at Waltham St. Mark, while 1 pound of cannabis and 95 rounds of ammunition were recovered at Bonaire St. Mark. In total, the drug carried an estimated street value of $27,160 Eastern Caribbean dollars. Both Antoine and Thomas had 4 charges slapped on them, while Shamora had 3 charges brought against her. The 3 were brought to the Victoria Magistrates Court on Thursday with joint representation from attorneys Ali Gill and Damani Edwards.
Granted bail for the offences. They're innocent until the court and the evidence has led is proof otherwise. I appeared this morning with Counsel Mr. Delani Edwards on behalf of all the accused, and all of the accused were granted bail. Charges are for possession of ammunition. There is no firearms involved. Ammunition is simply some bullets. And for 13 pounds of weed, 13 pounds of marijuana, which we deal with more marijuana than that most of the times in court. Fully living in the state at the time. And not knowing that he was under investigation for anything, unaware of what the police were doing. He was not in any way attempting to leave the state unlawfully. Obviously, now to travel, you have to have PCR test 72 hours before. You have to have everything, which he did.
The 3 were granted bail. Antoine's bail amounts to $35,000 for possession of ammunition and trafficking a controlled drug. Thomas's bail amounts to approximately $62,000 overall, as well as bail conditions. He is required to submit all travel documents, report to the Victoria Police Station 4 times per week, and must obtain written consent from the court to leave the state. Charles's bail amounts to approximately $40,000. They are due to appear for the next court hearing on February 3rd, 2022. Christelina John, GBN News.
Are Grenadians open to the renaming of streets and other important areas to accurately reflect the country's history and heritage? We may just get that opportunity if Cabinet decides in favor of a request from the Grenada National Reparations Committee. Gerard Joseph has the details.
Consideration will be given to renaming streets and important areas to reflect Grenada's history and heritage that is more common to the Grenadian people. This as the Grenada National Reparations Committee garnered a positive response from Prime Minister Dr. Kit Mitchell.
We are delighted that the Prime Minister has seen it fit to bring such an issue before the Cabinet. We first of all have to appreciate that most of the names of the streets and national buildings, villages, communities, all across Grenada is more or less was named by our colonial masters.
Chairman of the committee, Ali Gill, says they are part of the CARICOM mandate for reparations throughout the region.
So that you will find that most of the streets, if not all, represent persons who were slave owners and who were colonialists. And they basically represent 18th or 19th century Grenadian history. Definitely, they represent colonial history before 1974. We believe as a nation, as we chart our way forward, it is extremely important for our national consciousness to revisit this issue and to rename most, if not all, of these streets, schools, national monuments after iconic Grenadians.
If approved, the renaming will form part of Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence celebrations in 2024.
Here we are not just speaking about politicians. We are speaking about medical doctors, teachers, fisher folks, farmers, community workers, persons who would have sacrificed and would have done a lot for the development of our community. And we believe that that will reflect much more positively for us as a nation and as a people.
Gill, who is Grenada's ambassador to CARICOM, says pending Cabinet's endorsement, the committee, together with government, will research and consult citizens regarding the renaming.
In fact, we envisage that what we are going to do is to also invite persons from our communities to make recommendations. Of course, copied along with the biographical data of the persons that they are recommending, so that we are not saying to rename these places tomorrow. We are saying let us do so in 2 years, so that we have sufficient time to research properly, to consult, and to do what we believe is necessary. So we're not advocating an ad hoc or a rushed approach. We believe that we're in good time for the 50th anniversary of independence.
Gill says the committee believes it is important to recognize citizens who have made an indelible mark on the development of the nation. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Non-performing loans continue to be an issue of contention for financial institutions, especially following the economic fallout caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Understanding the emotional plight of customers who are struggling to service their loans and missed 3 consecutive monthly payments, experienced banker Richard Duncan has some advice on steps that can be taken. Here's Gerard Joseph once again.
In the latest episode of ECCB Connects, outgoing Managing Director of the Grenada Cooperative Bank, Richard Duncan, noted that there are steps customers can follow to ensure their loans do not become non-performing. Entering a debtor-creditor relationship with a financial institution brings certain obligations to service the loan, and failure to do so within 90 days, the loan is deemed non-performing. The experienced banker has this advice to avoid such situations.
Keep in touch with your banker. There is absolutely no shame in calling a banker and say, I have been terminated. This is my severance package. Can I speak with you as to how it is? I can use these monies to protect my credit rating, to protect the assets that I'm in the process of owning when I finish paying the loan.
Thousands have lost their jobs in Grenada alone, while many others are earning less than before. Mr. Duncan said an arrangement can be worked out.
Obviously, based on your age and stage in life, you'll be able to have a moratorium, for example, which would tide you over, so that when the pandemic subsides and is eventually brought under control, if you return to gainful employment, you can then, rearrange your affairs to sustain the sustainable levels, so to speak.
If unable to collect interest from loans, Duncan said the financial institution will be affected as it cannot pay depositors' interest and continue normal operations. Thus, he said bankers are trained to be empathetic in the process of ensuring the depositors' funds are returned.
It's easier said than done, because there's the psychological trauma, there's the feeling of having, let down your family, your kids, as a breadwinner and stuff like that. So all these emotions, come into play. But bottom line is that you have contractual obligations, you have certain amount of leverage and negotiating skills under certain circumstances, and you should make maximum use of those.
The banker noted that while the sale of assets that secure the loan is the final recourse, it is not the first option. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And it's that time of the night where we bring you health updates. For this week's GBN Health, Krista Campbell provides you with a global outlook of the current COVID-19 situation.
The World Health Organization reported on Wednesday, November 10th, that coronavirus deaths rose by 10% in Europe in the past week, making it the only world region where both COVID-19 cases and deaths are steadily increasing. It was the 6th consecutive week that the virus has risen across the continent.
You're coming down the mountain, you're usually about to go back up another one, and the fact that Europe is climbing that mountain again should really stand everybody up around the world and say, what are we going to do do, because Europe does have the capacity, and European countries have the capacity. They have the vaccine access. They have the money. They have the systems in place that they can react. Many other regions don't necessarily have those capacities in place. So I think it's a warning shot for the world to see what's happening in Europe despite the availability of vaccination.
In its weekly report on the pandemic, the UN Health Agency said there were about 3.1 million new cases globally, about a 1% increase from the previous week. The countries with the highest numbers of new cases worldwide were the United States, Russia, Britain, Turkey, and Germany. Out of the 61 countries WHO includes in its European region, which includes Russia and stretches to Central Asia, 42% reported a jump in cases of at least 10% in the last week. Meanwhile, the number of weekly COVID-19 deaths fell by about 4% worldwide and declined in every region except Europe. In Grenada, there has been a drastic reduction of COVID-19 deaths and cases. The latest COVID-19 report revealed that there are 0 deaths and 0 new confirmed cases. There has also been a notable decline of imported cases.
In October, we had 5,164 arrivals at Maurice Bishop International Airport. We had 4 positive cases detected. 3 were not vaccinated. 1 was fully vaccinated.
Tourism Minister Clarice Modest-Cowan says the low positive case count is a major contributing factor in Cabinet's decision to further lift the restrictions at Grenada's borders.
The plan is to do away with quarantine for fully vaccinated persons, and within a week from now, that will happen. So,
as of November 9th, 2021, 32,849 persons have been double vaxxed. For this week's health update, I am Krista Campbell reporting.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Rena Perez-Thomas has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
Police have arrested and charged 2 teenagers for the alleged robbery of a supermarket at Victoria St. Mark last month. GBN brought this story, and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Hubbard Filbert said, "We need to pray for our boys. God's deliverance is the key to break the chains that are keeping the boys in shame. We cry out to you, Lord." Love Amia comment, "It's when you're lazy and don't want to look for work. The money they rob is to buy weed and alcohol." Donnella James commented, "Government failed these young men." Charles Francois said, "The worst thing you can ever do in life is not take responsibility and be accountable for your action. How is the government to be blamed for this? If anything, the government and the current law is too lenient. If we don't address our current justice system, it will get worse." Diane Thomas said, "There are young people who go hustle to make a living, and then there are others who want quick money or want to imitate what they see on social medias or other countries. We should condemn this action in the strongest possible way." And finally, Gerard Spice drummer Charles commented, "Man, it have plenty job opportunities out there. All they have to do is get up and get. The same energy they use to rob people, use it to get a work." That's a wrap for tonight's Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platform.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Introducing Color by Sissy. essence.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Continue breastfeeding after an emergency or disaster. Breast milk provides all the nutrients your baby needs for the first 6 months of life. Breastfeeding is safest for babies at a time when water may be limited and unsafe. No need to worry about mixing formula. Breast is best. Forget the rest. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from PAHO.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
You have been waiting on it all year. Now, it's your chance to make this Christmas better than ever. Get the extra cash you need with a Make This Christmas Better loan from the GUT Credit Union. Get up to $50,000 to celebrate your Christmas and make your holiday dreams come true. Home improvements, new furniture, a vehicle, debt consolidation, or even a vacation. We can help you get there. Yes, you can. Make this Christmas better with the GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Introducing YouTube and TikTok to the Digicel Prime Bundle. Now get 1 gigabyte daily to enjoy more YouTube. Plus 1 gigabyte daily to like more TikTok videos. It's simply more entertainment bundled together. Get a 7-day bundle for $35 in my Digicel. More apps, more data, more fun. Digicel, better together.
Stop the spread of germs that can make you and others sick. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.
This is a plastic bag. From February 1st, these bags are not to be used when shopping for food. So here's what you should do. Refuse plastic. Instead, bring your own reusable shopping bags and say goodbye to plastic. Choose to refuse plastic. Walk with your reusable shopping bags and help protect pure Grenada from plastic pollution. A message from the Ministry of Climate Resilience.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Feel good tax.
Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
This the season, Grenada, and all the action is happening on GBN. It's a mid-morning show like no other, with shopping deals, giveaways, karaoke fun, Christmas recipes, and a whole lot more. This the season for caring, sharing, and reaching out to those in need. This the season. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on GBN Television, Classic Radio, and GBN's Facebook and YouTube pages. Promotion runs from November 8th to December 31st. Stay tuned to this station for more info.
Tis the Season is made possible by Ace Hardware, Kittens Healthcare, Grenada Tourism Authority, The Country Cold Store, Grenada Paper Products, and Sissons Paints.
Stepping off the plane, it's so easy to breathe again. Life in the big city has finally took its toll, and it's been so long, but I'm proud of much to see. Every corner I turn, there's something there to remind me of my beautiful nation and what it means to me. Not a thing out of place, that's what's special about it. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight. Just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada. This is home. And there's no end in sight, just the beginning of our lives, sweet Grenada. This is home, 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 sweet Grenada. Yeah, this is home.
Greetings, everyone. I hope this message meets you and yours in the best of health as we join in encouraging all to act responsibly.
COVID-19 presents the most serious
and deadly challenge any of us will experience in our lifetimes.
We must act now.
We need to keep the Caribbean safe.
We can all help to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Please stay at home.
So Caribbean people, please stay home. Caribbean people, please stay at home.
Please stay home. It's that simple. This too shall pass, but for now, stay home.
Stay in your yard. Stay home, stay safe.
Things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others,
I don't know how's it, people, when you hear that you get this kind of week, when you arouse to that kind of music in the morning time, how do you find the time to decide you want to abuse, beat, hit woman? I don't understand, but I don't know. Maybe Junior can help me understand. Maybe I've been locked up in Grenada for too long and I don't quite understand and appreciate how the world has evolved. And I hope you wouldn't disappoint me by telling me, and I know you wouldn't tell me otherwise. My good old Palos, Junior, George. What's up, Captain? Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to you, Joseph, and good morning to everybody, Grenada, Carrico, PT Martinique, and the rest of the world. How you guys doing?
We are doing wonderful.
Beautiful morning.
We're up and about, comrade. We're up and about.
Yeah.
I see you were forced to make the adjustment. I'm sorry. Now what? I was thinking killing you, boy.
Well, let me tell you, Joseph, I'm not a morning. I'm a night person, so I sleep late. I work. I'm burning the midnight oil, and I sleep sometime late in the day, and get up sometime midday or something and start my day.
Boy, talk about the ultimate sacrifice. Talk about the ultimate sacrifice. I do appreciate it, though. I know once I called in you and said, Junior, you said you put the clock to alarm, and I know that's exactly what you did. So how was New York, though?
Well, New York is. Listen. In terms of life, as how it felt like last year, I think you get up in the morning and you feel a little more easy. You feel like we are actually moving ahead of this whole COVID thing. That's just a feeling. It's probably not practical. Probably there's still people catching it. There's still people, succumbing to the disease. But it just feels better. Like Joseph, like let me tell you, I got up this morning and I walked from my house into my studio, and I got that breeze on my face, right? And I'm like, yo, that's what life means. Like that nice cool morning breeze. You don't have to wear a mask, and you just feeling like, yo, this is what life's supposed to be. So it's just great this morning, especially that I'm up early like this.
Well, it is great because here our numbers. I mean, literally, the curve as it is, it has fallen, it has crashed, and it really, really, really feels good. I know from our end, I know health officials, they happy. You folks in the diaspora, because I mean, I spoke to folks. I spoke to a gentleman yesterday, and he said, Joe, I left here early when we had about 2 or 3 cases, and he said he literally was shocked. Got to New York, and by the time he's like, all these cases of COVID in Grenada, and I know there were people in a state of despondency. They were this fear that, okay, that's it. What's going to happen to my homeland? But we find a way to bounce back, and we're doing well, though.
Yeah. I saw the dashboard yesterday, and it says 0.
Yes.
0. It is 484 tests with 0 new cases. I'm like, yo, man.
And
I'm so happy, elated.
And it's not a one-off 0. It has literally been reflecting that. And even on days when they pick up cases, it's like 1, 2. Yeah, the numbers are really, 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 really down. The latest one you had about 70. We have 70 active cases, and these are just waiting on recovery. These are people that's already into the system, and they're just waiting on the official timeline to say, you know what, you guys are active, officially declared COVID-free. Yeah, you officially declared COVID-free. But really and truly, I imagine there are folks who actually were in Grenada, in New York, and they said, I'm staying in New York better than coming to Grenada. And you start going like seriously? But I don't want people still to feel like, yo, this is it, and we could do whatever because this is celebration time. I don't think it's celebration time yet, because it only takes one. Correct.
It takes one to kick back again and have the spread again. So people still have to be careful, because I think they say that there's 4 active cases in the hospital. That's still 4 people. That could turn into 24, that could turn into 34, that could turn back into 104. So we still need to be careful, but I'm happy that at least you feel like we get a break. You feel like the people could breathe a little bit.
Curfew has been moved back to 12 o'clock.
Yeah. Whoa, nice. Because I was in Grenada a few weeks ago, and but it just didn't feel right, bro. I don't know. I had to rush home. I was sitting in the Willis area. I had to rush home. I see 6 o'clock. And how long will it take me to get up the hill? You know what I mean? I had to rush, man. But I can't wait back.
But I know certainly, Junior, you will also, the message that has to resonate here for people. I know you mentioned celebration. And while I understand the context in which you say celebration, I still don't want people to think there's nothing to celebrate really and truly, because I think COVID as it is going to be around for a while. So I think you would agree what we have to do is to find a way to adapt, readjust, and reassess what is important, what's not important within our lives. Because the impact of the economy, and while we may not necessarily have the numbers, but we have to deal with the pitfalls of it, and that in itself has its own challenges, doesn't it? Even for you guys in New York, which so many of us at home rely on.
Yeah, it's sad, and you said it right. It's not a celebration really, because look at the people. 200 people who lost their loved one.
Yes.
They're not celebrating, you know what I mean? They might look at me like, oh wow, well, so from here on, people talking about celebrate. I just lost my father, I just lost my mother, I just lost my best friend, you know what I mean? It's not celebration for them. So we still have to empathize with those persons who have lost loved ones during COVID. It's not a celebration for them. Their life would be forever changed.
Correct.
Going forward. But it just feel like we are soon going to see the back of it. But again, we can't even think like that because look at Barbados and other places that had second and third and fourth waves.
Yesterday alone, Trinidad had 500 new cases in one day. They got 500 cases. Trinidad is just at 30 minutes away from us. So we really and truly, complacency, there's no place in our lives for complacency. We have to always be on our guards.
True, man.
But in the midst,
you know what? You know what? I a lot of people overlook the hard work that goes into this thing by the nurses and the doctors and the sacrifices that they made. And I don't know if I said it before, they heard it before from me, but I said it, that kudos to the nurses and doctors. After all of this, or I think that we really should do something special for the frontline workers because they have sacrificed themselves, they have sacrificed their families.
Yes.
A few frontline workers who took this home to their family and family members died from it. And they still came back to work again. I mean, that's the beast mentality of working. I mean, nobody says, you know what, I commit to go to work every day because I know, something I might take something back home to my family and they might potentially die. Nobody signed up for this.
Right.
I mean, nobody signed up for reality, but they leave the reality, and they're so strong that they came back and they're working, and it's like they're just looking straight ahead. So I just want to say kudos to the frontline workers, and we really appreciate them. We can't appreciate them enough. We can't tell them enough how much we appreciate their hard work during this COVID time.
And when you say frontline workers, I know we very often, none of we don't think about them. Well, we always talk about the doctors, the police officers. But it's interesting, Junior, is when we go through moments of crisis. Pandemic. We've had difficult times already. We've been through Ivan. We've been through Emily. So we that natural resilience is there. But COVID was a different. I mean, listen, I have memories of Ivan the morning when I woke up. But COVID, I mean, you knew at the end of the day you woke up and your roof wasn't there. You knew the cable was off. You knew a lot of things was done. And after a while, you adjust yourself within a couple of days. But COVID brought an unpredictability to it. And especially the deaths with it. While during Ivan, we had, 39 deaths. But it was over and done with. God, I mean, and you were not taking anything away from that. But COVID, you just never knew. You woke up every morning and every day, and you heard 5 more, 6 more, 7 more. Yeah. And mentally, you start thinking, who's next? Who is next? Yeah. You know, but you then learn to appreciate, Junior, the friends you have in the supermarkets, you know. The people that you don't consider, when all of a sudden you have to line up for 4 hours to get 2 pounds of sugar and a pound of rice, and you were able to say, boy, thank God I know tomorrow in food line. Thank God I know somebody that the security guards, people that we often, the folks from Solid Waste Division, the sanitary engineers, the people that we take for granted, you know. Hey, Junior, what is that? Junior, what happened to Junior? In this morning world, Junior didn't have to change the battery pack. We just lost Junior temporarily there. I know he is going to come back, but certainly, as I was saying, without Junior, the people that we sometimes we trivialize the contribution that they make, and we don't get to recognize that without them, literally. So could you imagine we going through this, we sanitizing our homes, we sanitizing everything, but when we wake up in the morning and go to the streets, there's garbage all over the place, and you start wondering, oh my god, and the streets is dirty. It makes you ask yourself, well, why am I sanitizing anyway? Or is it really worth it? But of course we say, kudos and hats off to all you wonderful individuals, whichever part of the vineyard that you worked, and let's hope that we continue to do what we can to keep the numbers at bay. As Junior was saying, we looked at the last dashboard. We saw that there was 0 active cases, and you're like, ooh, but nothing taken away as Junior makes his way back. Junior, we starting to feel the Christmas breeze here at home, and it would be good to know what's happening on the New York end. How is Christmas in New York shaping up, Junior?
Christmas is not shaping up in New York as yet. And it's strategic why they do it like that, Joseph. I had to apologize earlier. My camera is obviously not a morning camera.
Apology accepted. The poor camera shocked. It's not used to being in operations this time of the day.
Christmas is not shaping up in New York yet. How it's done in New York is you don't start to feel anything Christmas until after Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is on the 25th.
Yeah.
And it's strategic. It's economically strategic. They don't want people to start shopping for one holiday and then pick the one before. So right now it's no Christmas vibe yet. If I want to feel a Christmas vibe, I look at you guys in the morning time. Or I listen to the radio in Grenada and I feel that nostalgic kind of music when I was growing up back home and listening those. That's the only way. But for now, Christmas is not shaping up in New York right now, and it won't shape up not until after Black Friday, which is the day after Thanksgiving. But they go start.
But for you guys with the Caribbean roots, the Grenadian roots, because the reality of it is that a lot of Grenadians, I saw a piece which says, I think St. Vincent, they're doing a free barrel program, and a lot of individuals, they look forward to the Christmas time when their families, by now, you already start packing the barrel. I tell you, I want 2 salt ham. Put one right in the bottom so those fellas, they go dig too far. Put one of the. Well, you always do all kind of things during the season, huh? I mean, you're getting that feel from Grenadians that they're thinking, what, Christmas is coming up home. Maybe some people are saying, I want to go home for Christmas, or maybe I have to send a barrel home. Is that conversation?
Yeah. In fact, people are already putting together barrels and start sending down barrels and start procuring getting the ham and everything, getting ready to send down. Even us, I don't know if you know, last year we gave away about 50 ham. Throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Salt ham?
And salt ham.
50 hams, Junior? Make it 51 this year. Make it 51 this year.
You didn't get none?
Well, I don't understand. You not give me a ham? You know me. I mean, come on.
But you see, think about it, Joseph. Think about the ham that we gave last year. Someone had to recommend you. So I don't know about your friends. Your friends, obviously.
Maybe I don't have friends.
I don't know what's happening there. So this year we decided that we're going to double that.
Okay.
100 ham.
But hold on. When you say we, so the listening and viewing public can appreciate where the effort is coming from. When you say we.
Right. So right along live.
Right.
It's something that we do out of love, So first we had the shopping spree where we gave. I think we had $1,000 shopping spree, US dollars. And initially we said we were just gonna have one person win, and we give them $1,000 US dollars, and they win. They could shop in any supermarket and just pick up whatever they want for the value of $1,000, which is about $2,700. That's a lot of groceries, by the way. And then after some way into it, we said, you know what? We're gonna break that up from $1,000. We're gonna just give 4 people $200. We can just spread it 4 people $250. So that's what we did. That was the first promotion. We meaning Right Along Live. That was the first promotion that we're going to replicate again this year.
Great.
And the second thing that we're going to do, we're back with our 100 ham. 100 ham. Because what was disappointing what we felt really, really, really bad last year. We had only 50 ham, and we had 600 entries. So could you imagine?
Wow.
600 people, we could only give 50.
Right.
So we decided to double it this year. Hopefully we could do more, but that's where it's at right now. So 50 viewers, supporters, not any in particular. You don't have to be a supporter of Ride Along or anything like that.
Right.
As long as you fit into what we call the priority listing, we have 3 priority listing. You're eligible, and you can pick up your ham and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
What's that criteria? How do they qualify? I mean, how do they qualify?
Right. So starting today, later on this evening, we're gonna have the list form. Right. So it's 3 priority lists. The first priority list is the frontline workers.
Okay.
So frontline workers, you fit into priority list number 1, right? Priority list number 1, which means that you could start entry today, and you get your name placed 3 times on the board.
Okay.
So the frontline worker, a doctor, nurse, even, and as you said it, I believe, the folks who pick up your garbage, those people, you are frontline workers. You are on the front line of things. You could start applying, putting your name on the list starting today. So that's the first priority list. Priority list number 2 is anyone who lost a loved one due to COVID-19 during that period. So if you lost someone, a family member, a loved one, during that period of time, you're in priority list number 2, which means that you get a name placed twice on the board, right? So you have two chances to possibly win. That's priority list number 2. And then priority list number 3 now is everybody else, right? But the thing about priority list number 3 is you cannot recommend yourself. You have to recommend someone else that needs it.
Right. Okay.
A friend, someone could recommend you, but you cannot recommend yourself. You cannot put your own name on the list. And just like that, we have a big board. We put all the names on the board, and we have a special program coming around Christmas, and we spin the wheel, and the winners just pick up the ham.
As you say in German, das ist ganz einfach. It's that simple.
That's simple.
Just like that.
You get your ham. Yeah, you get your ham.
And you get a ham.
Yeah, and to keep the, we're trying to even, have the funds circulated into the country.
Right.
We're not even buying the ham from New York. We're buying the ham in Grenada.
Ah.
Stores need the monies, so it does 2 things. It at least, help the economy a bit.
Right.
2, it helps out people who are frontline workers, people who are displaced financially, and people who needs to have a ham. Because that's when Joseph, let me tell you, the only time I knew Christmas was coming around is when I see my mother cutting a ham in the morning. When I get a apple, and when I see that is
But that is the truth, There were some of these telltale signs years ago that hinted to you that the season, for some, outside of that, but I don't remember, Junior, something about Christmas, the atmosphere, the season, it just changed. I mean, you just felt different, but then you started seeing the thing as the apple. The grapes. When you saw apple and grapes on the streets in town, well, not even on the street, because back then you didn't. I mean, those vendors was not something that you saw on the streets randomly. But you go to the supermarket, you saw apple and grapes. But Junior, grapes was a special thing, All the children these days eating grapes and saying you only like that one and throwing it
every day. I knew when I see grapes, I say Christmas is coming.
Right.
So, Christmas is here.
Hammers once a year.
Yeah, and listen, I'll tell you this: I never ate a whole apple by myself.
But you couldn't, Mr. Apple.
I had to get like a slice.
One apple slicing for the 6 brothers, your cousin and that came over, Auntie Melva children, and the neighbors, and Mr. John and the 2 grandchildren that just happened to be passing while the apple is being shared. Boy.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's what made it what it was, And let's just keep our eyes on the clock. For those of you making your way to work, it is 15 minutes onto the hour. We're going to get you there. But I'm saying, Junior, that's what made it what it was. Now even the soft drink. It was the only time in the year when a child got a red spot for himself or a cannon.
Yes.
Yeah, you got a red spot, and that's yours. You feel like, and you got to hold one, and you felt as though, boy, I am special.
Yes, that's Christmas.
And
that's what it was.
That was the spirit that came with it. But it wasn't commercialized, Junior. It wasn't, and that's unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, that's so true, man. That's so true. I don't know if you'll ever come back to that time, Joseph. I don't know if you'll ever come back to that time when you just feel that you just want to smile. Christmas is coming.
You're happy.
In the house. You're happy.
And you don't know why you're happy, but you're happy.
Black cake, and they had it out the oven, and they put in that cake, and you're just feeling happy. And the funny thing is, because of COVID last year, someone reached out to me. The reason why we started this initiative, someone reached out to me and they said, my kids, my husband or boyfriend or whatever, I got laid off from his job. And her kids won't have Christmas this year. They can't get a ham, so the kid wouldn't have Christmas this year. And man, I felt so depressed about that. I don't know, that particular statement that lady made,
right.
I felt really, really, really bad about it. So I went to the team and said, listen, let me sponsor about a couple ham, give it to this person. And then we start giving one, and then we say we're giving two, and then everybody go like, so what about this one? What about Carriacou?
Right.
What about folks in St. George's? What about folks in St. David's? Gorham? Everybody need ham. And if one family is feeling it, trust me, everybody's feeling it. Everybody needs to have that Christmas feeling. So, I'm happy that we are spearheading the operation, but we have a lot of donor support.
Great, and that's good. That's nice.
And but it's going to be good. I wish that we could raise enough money to give 500 ham this year. I buy all the ham in Grenada and just go and pick up your ham.
Yeah, because what is it we've done here at the GBN as well, Junior? We've committed ourselves to start sharing and the spirit of the season. If you wait too late, people might miss it. So we've gone into full assault Christmas mode. Yesterday we had Hess and the boys in the studio. We reached out to Steve Theodore, the guys in the diaspora, Specky and those guys. Listen, time to start feeling the spirit of the season. But I want to say to people this year that while you may not have the dollars to spend, Junior, I think what Christmas 2021 allows us is, in a sense, that sense of togetherness. That maybe I don't need to have to buy a case of salt. I don't need to buy a whole case of soft drink to enjoy Christmas. So why not families and neighbors come together? And it will be a nice way. Decide, guys, you know what? You buy the ham, I go do the story of the ginger beer, and you will do the black cake, and we share it and find a way. You don't have to worry about having about $1,000 to spend. Listen, to spend come January, we have no idea what's happening. I know that's the reason why we often seem to think that January is such a hard month. Is that the same notion that you share, that January is hard?
Yeah. January is hard.
Junior, is it hard, or who make it hard?
Well, I get the feeling by growing up, right? I always used to feel like in the start of the year is when I felt the worst, like kind of depressed in a certain kind of way growing up at that particular period of time. I didn't really know why until I got older. And I see how finances circulate, And
right.
January happened to be the month, that early first quarter. Sometimes it's the time that the economy is just, people are not spending as much, monies are not coming in as much, and things are not flowing as well as And I call it, I say, well, that's probably why, because we really didn't have a lot. And I felt like, we were from not a rich family, but I never really, I felt that month was just not a good month. And I know why now. And I think January is so because January is that time when very little funds flow into the economy and into our pockets and trickle down into families, and we need to have some kind of kickstart stimulus to help people in January too, or I don't know the blueprint.
But what I would encourage people though, Junior, and what I would encourage individuals though, because I think, and I agree with what you're saying, but I think traditionally what has happened, because of the excitement that went to the season, and we came from a plantation society, so at the end of the year, you got the nutmeg bonus and the this and the that.
Yeah.
A lot of efforts went into making the family happy. So things you couldn't afford all year long because of shortage of cash, you expended everything in January. And not just that, remember that most of us, we get paid since around the 15th. So you get paid at the end of November. Then you collect another paycheck 2 weeks later, forgetting that, hello, you ain't seen another paycheck not until 6 weeks later. So what I normally, for me, what I do and I encourage people, when you get that second paycheck, pay your bills. So you know you have your utility bills to pay. Hello, pay it as per usual, so you don't have that burden now, and you're thinking, boy, my light bill due in January the 6th, I'm gonna pay then, but you know you're gonna spend it and buy some nonsense that you don't need, so I say to people, you know what, prioritize, spend a little, but you have to be cognizant of the fact, listen, January is coming, school is reopening. I have to keep a little something to pay the bus, the school fee, whatever the case might be.
Yeah, so true. But listen, Joseph, I have to run. I have a.
We all got to run, buddy. Well, it's almost 7. It's inching towards 7 on your side. It's inching towards 8 on my side. Anyway, comrade, it's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. I just want to say to families and friends, and Joseph, you made a very good point when you said that they need to be, but this year probably could have more community support where people come together and merge their resources. I think it would feel a lot more like Christmas with the sharing spirit. Everybody don't need to have the ham. Everybody don't need to have the thing ginger beer. And if you have a community come together and share to support each other. And I also want to say to the folks in the diaspora, I saw that there was some containers on the way down to Grenada. I want to tell the folks in the diaspora, continue to help as much as you can in any way that you can. And everybody don't have to do the same thing. Everybody don't have to send down containers. Everybody don't have to do the same thing. But find a need and try to feel that need, because we are one. You know what I mean? When you sneeze, we feel the pain.
Yeah.
And that's what's been absorbed here in the diaspora. So everyone, just continue to do your part. Help your family, help your friends, and have an amazing Christmas. I know we're going to talk before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I was wondering. I thought, I see like you plan to follow the globe.
We're going to talk before Christmas, man.
Anyway, Junior, I appreciate it, comrade. All the best. Take care of yourself across in New York.
All right, thank you so much.
Take care.
All right.
The man knew Junior George waking him up quite early. Yeah, remember the clock has gone back, so it is just 8 o'clock here. It is just inching towards 7 o'clock on his end. Well, folks, this is as far as I can take you for this segment of the morning show, reminding you that at the top of the hour, we joined the BBC for a bulletin of news. At 9 o'clock, we'll be joined by my guest, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Mr. Andel, where we will be discussing phase 1, the first phase of what was the re-entry into the classroom, just assessing it, what happens, and just look at plans for Child's Month and those things along that line. So folks, we'll leave it here for now. Peace and love. JC loves you. It's about 5 minutes onto the hour. As you go through the day, just think about somebody, folks. Think about it. Start in advance to plan this season. It's a season of giving. It's a season of love. And I think in the midst of everything that COVID has thrown at us, it probably provides us, it has provided us, there has been some challenges, but in the midst of every threat, there are opportunities that is yet to unfold and presents itself. What are the opportunities that COVID-19 has presented to us? That maybe this is the time, this is the season where we share, we bond some more, share a little bit more, and see how best we can enjoy that sense of community spirit, that sense of family, that sense of togetherness that is somehow we've lost through that commercialization of Christmas. And it has eroded some of the traditions, the great traditions that we love. But for me, notwithstanding that, I love Christmas. I love Christmas. And so too, I hope you can continue to do whatever you can. Help somebody. Think about somebody when you start planning your Christmas holiday. A child next door, a neighbor next door, a friend, a family somewhere that you think, you don't even realize that while my situation might be bad, for somebody, it is even worse. Until then, so long everybody. JC loves you.